The Hateful Eight is directed by Quentin Tarantino. It is his eighth film. The Hateful Eight takes place in post-Civil War Wyoming, and it follows eight very untrustworthy people stuck in a cabin together during the blizzard, and all they have are their guns and their mistrust of each other. And that's all you need to know. This movie blew me away. What impressed me most about this movie is that every character in the movie, and there's a lot of characters, every character is important to the events of the story. Every character is wonderfully written, and all of them are really interesting to watch. Even though there's no character that you can follow and see the story through their eyes, it's okay because they're all fantastic. This is one of Quentin Tarantino's better movies. The best part of the movie, as usual with Quentin Tarantino movies, is probably the dialogue and the script. He's an insanely good writer, and that's true with this movie too. The movie is almost 3 hours long, and much of the movie, about 75% of the movie, is just talking without much action at all. I think there's a bunch of action because the dialogue is never repetitive, and it's really good. Because of the characters standing with each other and because of the inherent conflict among what's going on, the dialogue is never repetitive. It hits all the notes. It builds up in a way that isn't boring, and it builds up to a place where it's an amazing, amazing, amazing payoff. I could see a criticism of this movie, as with every Tarantino movie, being that it's a little bit too graphic and it's offensive, but I would argue that it isn't. I would argue that all the blood shown in the movie adds to the impact. I would say that everything you feel because of the blood in the movie is you feeling the impact of what's going on. And Tarantino exaggerates the bloodshed because that's what it does. Maybe the sheer volume of blood is a bit unrealistic, but if we're looking at the device of blood in movies, Quentin Tarantino knows that, and he plays with it, and it adds to the impact so much. As per it being offensive in any way, you might think it's racist, you might think it's sexist. There's a bit of hitting women. It turns out that the most dangerous and most confrontational person in the movie is a woman. So they hit her sometimes, and they call her names. And it turns out that another one of the big players in the movie is black, so they call him names. You might think that's offensive. You might not want to even hear those words coming out of the mouth in the way that they do. But Tarantino is brilliant because he creates characters and circumstances where the characters aren't afraid to hate each other. This movie isn't tentative in any way. And because of the strength in which the characters all hate each other, it adds to the dynamic of the story, which takes it from being a boring story about people talking for 2 hours to something that is brilliant. So I would suggest looking at the profanity of what's going on and the offensive nature of what's going on in the movie as a plot device, and as a device to make the conflict stronger and the impact stronger. Because that's what it is. The next thing I want to mention is that Jennifer Jason Leigh practically steals the whole movie. She is now my front runner for Best Supporting Actress this year. Holy crap, she's amazing. Do you ever hear people talk about performances that are ugly? Not saying that the person is ugly, but it's an ugly performance because there's nothing glamorous about it, and it's completely down to the primal nature of human beings. Performances don't get much more ugly than Jennifer Jason Leigh's performance in The Hateful Eight. She is downright nasty and disgusting and revolting, and it contributes to the film so much, and she's such a fascinating character. But that being said, it's not like some actors were greatly stronger than the other ones. All the actors were really fantastic, and because it's a long movie, and because it's Tarantino dialogue, which is so wonderfully layered, every actor gets an opportunity to shine. Most actors get multiple opportunities to shine. And maybe it's because I went to acting school and was educated as an actor, but I really love films that give that importance to actors, because nothing makes a story more human than an actor. And I love that Tarantino understands that. He always has fantastic performances from his actors. And I could see people saying that this movie is similar to his other movies, and it's really nothing new. Here's a couple small things to prove that wrong. There's a score in this movie, and it's like a traditional Western score while at the same time being very unique and indicative. The score is brilliant, and Tarantino doesn't use scores mostly, and this one does. The cinematography is great, specifically the lighting of everything that's going on. The lighting is fantastic. It's really great, and it looks fantastic in 70mm. Those are just little things, though. The big thing that I want to say is that, yeah, it has similar themes to his other movies and similar presentation of his other movies, but it's not predictable, and all of his movies are great. So I'll predict some Oscar nominations. I feel confident in saying that The Hateful Eight will get nominated for Best Original Screenplay, Best Supporting Actress, Best Cinematography, Best Original Score, and I feel confident to say it'll get nominated in Sound Mixing. Maybe Sound Editing. I feel more confident saying it'll be nominated in Sound Mixing. I think The Hateful Eight is more than good enough to get nominated for Best Picture, but I don't know if it's realistic this year because there is still an abundance of historical dramas and stuff like that, but there also are a few films that are picking up a lot of steam, like Mad Max and The Martian, and that kind of fills up like the genre film for Best Picture. So I don't know if The Hateful Eight will get nominated for Best Picture. It should. So as it stands right now, I am predicting it will get 5 nominations. I very, very, very much enjoyed my experience with The Hateful Eight.
The Hateful Eight gets a 9 out of 10.
And that is a high 9, ladies and gentlemen. I don't feel confident calling it a masterpiece, but holy crap, it's really good. I strongly urge you and recommend you to go see The Hateful Eight in theaters, and if you have the opportunity to, go watch it in true 70mm, do the roadshow with the intermission and everything, and I guarantee you will have a great time. Have you seen the movie yet? Are you excited to see the movie? What do you think of Tarantino as a director? What do you think of his earlier movies? Comment. Don't forget to give this video the thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and just keep loving movies, guys.